Welcome back to ComicBook Nation Season 7, the only show that does it all for geek culture and the official podcast of ComicBook.com. I am your host, Kofi Outlaw, and with me today are my co-hosts, Matthew Aguilar and Janelle Wheeler. What's up, everybody?
Hello, good morning.
Howdy.
And shout out to the live chat for being up with us this morning. Everybody in the live chat, all our regular fans over on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in this morning with us. We got a little bit more of a focus show today, I would say. I know we do it all for geek culture, but today we have some pretty big topics we got to get into. First up and foremost, we will be talking about the finale of The Last of Us Season 2. So if you aren't caught up on that, sorry to tell you, this ain't the show for you today. You can mute us for the beginning, jump back in later, because we will be talking about The Last of Us. We will also be talking about the big news in Marvel about some delays that happened. And we got to talk a little bit about DC and what's going on with Superman. I also will talk about one of the movies that is in theaters this week. We got comics and Matt's agenda. So let's get into all of it. So, like I said, up top, this is your final spoiler alert. We're going to be talking about everything from The Last of Us Season 1, The Last of Us Season 2. I think we're going to be measured in what we say about the games because we don't want to spoil the show for anybody, but there are certain things from the game that we have to kind of just address as discussing the nature of the show, if that makes any sense. So we're going to try to tiptoe our way around that. All right, so let's just get into it. Last of Us Season 2. We got this finale where it was an interesting kind of experience, the finale. We're coming off this episode with the flashback and Joel. And I'm just going to start at the end with my big thought, which is, I titled this, Did They Kill the Show? With this finale. And it seems dramatic or hyperbolic. But I was really thinking about it after the Season 2 finale ended. And I decided, because I went back and I started really watching videos about story parts from the game, like replay videos of the game and like what was happening, specifically like the theater scene and other things. And yeah, I forgot how much there is in this game and what it and how deep the story is in certain parts. But one thing that they did that they majorly changed in this show that I don't think the show may be able to recover from, I'm being honest, is like they gave you that scene between Joel and Ellie in the flashback episode on the porch, right? Like that's the big end of that episode. And it was in discussions this week that gamers were bringing it up, and I had to go back and watch it in videos, like I said. But yeah, so that scene on the porch is like one of the final scenes of this game. Like you never see that until the very end. And I think that was a massive, massive mistake for them to put that scene where they did, because I didn't realize how much it affects the game. Like in the game, you're playing as Ellie, and your whole time you're thinking a lot through the game that she's still doing this based on the lie of who Joel was and her kind of mistaken belief. And there's this whole kind of tragic irony to the whole thing that of watching Ellie kind of unravel and become this dark, crazy person because of what you think she thinks, this idealized version of Joel in her mind. And then at the end of the game, it reframes everything you just went through and everything you just did, because you have to realize, oh no, like what she's really kind of freaking out about is that she had made this massive emotional hurdle to forgive him. And just when she did that, just when she started to get her dad figure back, he's taken away forever. And that's what she's really kind of reacting to, is that deep heartbreak of actually really, despite his flaws, loving him and wanting to go crazy to get revenge for him. And that feeds into, at the end of the game, that's so powerful because the game has done such a successful job of making you question the nature of revenge. Like, what is love? Like, is love the memory of somebody and going out and brutally hurting 12 other people because of the one person you love? Does it matter? Does that moral kind of line matter when you love somebody? Or is it just, no, screw the world. I loved this person and, I'm going to make you hurt because you hurt, I hurt now. Like, these are all deep questions. And when you find out that piece of the game and you have to reframe, it's part of this whole reframing the game forces you to do about everything. And that's the part I can't spoil, but this game is controversial because it forces you into other perspectives and other kind of considerations that you weren't ready to necessarily take on at first. It was a simple revenge game, and then it becomes something far more complicated. I think the show has really shot itself in the foot by putting that piece out there too early and not having it resonate in the way that brings us closer to Ellie and understanding the complexity of her, kind of the mess that she is. I don't know about you, but by the end of this finale, like, they keep doing certain things with this character that make it either inconsistent and hard to follow, or just make her seem petulant and like, I don't want to follow her. And it's
Unlikable.
very clear. Yeah. And I want to be
Yeah.
very clear. This is not a Bella Ramsey discussion.
What?
Bella Ramsey has done her job, or their job. They have done their job. They have put a lot into this character. And I'm not talking about their performance. I'm talking about the character as written in this show. No matter who performs it, no matter who
An
does
important
it.
distinction to make. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No matter, even if we got a brown-haired girl with blue eyes and freckles out there to do it, right? The way they have written Ellie in this show, it doesn't work for me. Like, it's hard to follow her. Like, the game was consistent about this girl unraveling, and it was clear that she was like spiraling. Like, when Dina tells her about the pregnancy, there isn't this happy moment in the show where she like comes back. She's like, B, you're pregnant? You're slowing me down. Why the hell are you here? Like, she's so in on this revenge thing.
That's one of the biggest changes too. Like,
Wow.
even just that scene, like how that plays
Yeah.
out and all that. Yeah, I get you.
And like the scene in this one with the Seraphites and or the WLF capturing that Seraphite boy and making her trying to be the compassionate one, like, oh, I should save him. And Jesse being like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, no. Like, that scene really bothered me because, again, Ellie is like so hell-bent on revenge in such a different place. Like, this noble moment of I want to also be a hero makes no sense to me. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, why would she want to save this kid? She's been running around blowing people away left and right, but she wants to save this random Seraphite kid. It also contradicts some big things from the game. Like, right? Like, I was looking more into that, like, and especially like the Abby story. Like, that's a weird contradiction to kind of throw in there. So,
well, and there's stuff missing too from on purpose too.
Yeah.
So it's hard to grade this because I feel like we'll get into the Abby doll because I do want to address some comments I saw about Abby specifically, but like, that's the thing, right? We haven't really, there's things missing purposefully, so it's kind of also hard to judge it completely because Like there's characters missing. there's key characters missing from stuff yet that will probably be a focus in season 3, because season 3 is going to be, very much focused on Abby. And so it's hard to grade this, but I agree with you on Ellie completely. I'm having a really difficult time with the character.
Yeah, same. I am. I'm also just go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at a comment on YouTube from One Armed Arsenal. No, I get what you're saying. Like that scene with the kid and her trying to save him is supposed to come back when she gets captured by the Seraphites, but it doesn't. The kid doesn't spare her.
Oh my gosh,
Like,
I didn't make that correlation.
It didn't even, it has no purpose. And here's where it gets hard to talk. So as Matt indicated, and as the finale, if you didn't understand the final scene of the finale indicated, yes, season 3, we will get the same 3 days from season 2 in Seattle, this time from Abby's perspective, which is exactly how it plays out in the game. The circumstances are a little bit different in a lot of ways. Characters, deaths, things are very different in certain kind of ways. But that theater scene is a pivotal scene in the game because it is where your perspective begins to switch and you begin to play as Abby after that. So the season is following the game in that respect. I think that was a major problem too. I think they made the mistake of following the game too closely. Like, I think you had to step back, look at this and say, this is TV. Like, I would have done an episode to episode type deal, right? Like an Abby episode, an Ellie episode, an Abby episode, an Ellie episode until they eventually come together, right?
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah. Instead, what they've done is break this up over years, which is so crazy to do because you're already asking a lot of people to switch perspective into a new lead a second time, mind you, because we've already switched leads from Joel to Ellie. Now we're going to switch from Ellie to Abby. And a TV show that's really different for an audience. Secondly, like, we're going to be recovering the same ground essentially in season 3. And you already have people in the chat saying here, if season 3 also ends with a gunshot in the theater, I'm out. If they try to save everything for the rest for season 4, because then we're just getting a kind of a alt perspective replay of this whole season again, which I don't know if doing it this way creates the kind of experience you're trying to do. Because I can tell you right now, one of the most messy parts of this episode is that brief interlude where Ellie gets captured where she gets knocked over by the wave in the boat and gets captured by the Seraphites and almost gets killed. And then they all run away because there's a problem in the village. Well, I don't know if you can connect the dots between what Jeffrey Wright was doing and anything, but in what we see later on that island. But obviously that's going to be a major part of Abby's story and like whatever happens in this showdown between the WLF and the Seraphites. And so that scene with Ellie is some side scene to whatever's going to be going on in Abby's episode next season of that same moment, right? We'll find out like, oh, in a weird way. And they added that scene, by the way. That's not in the games. So we're going to find out some weird.
Yeah, thread those things so that by the time you get there, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but it's going to be like some weird point like, oh, Abby inadvertently saved Ellie or something like that, which I'm guessing, again, none of this is in the game. So this is stuff they've added. But that seems to be the point. It'll be like, oh, Abby's actions actually saved Ellie, even though Ellie was hell-bent on killing Abby. And even though Abby saved Ellie, Ellie went right from there and killed her 2 friends, including a pregnant woman, which, sorry, Janelle, we keep doing this to you.
I know, it's brutal.
Oh, yeah, they really didn't.
Well, they made it 10 times worse than this.
Yeah.
Again, they changed it.
Terrible.
Yeah. And the thing, it's like a reveal, like they get shot and they're dead. And after they're dead, she realizes like one of them was pregnant. And that screws her up. But yeah, I didn't need this. I was like, what? Like, yeah, I was like, I didn't need this. This and a movie that bring her back, which I'll talk about. There's a scene in there I really didn't need either. Oh my God. Oh, but yeah. So they've changed all this. And again, I don't think the point hits hard like it's supposed to. And as a season, there's no real resolution to this. Like, there's no ending to this, even as a seasonal stopping point. Like, we lost Joel, and there's nothing that comes out of this. It's a weird cliffhanger where we lose another major character, and we don't even get a chance to process this. Like, poor Jesse. You knew his ass was dead as hell. As soon as that whole episode, he's like, I gotta live. I got a kid. I'm getting out of here. No, you are not.
Yeah.
Denied.
Denied.
I've seen I'm trying to see where it was in the comments. So I think I don't think the entire, going back to that point about like if it ends in the same place, I don't think the entirety of season 3 will be that. I think for the first 3 or 4 episodes, probably absolutely. Like that'll be following Abby's story, mirroring these events. So I do think it will make up a considerable part of the season. I do not think it will be the entire season because I
do.
I don't think that because of the changes they have made to this point. I do not think that is smart. And I also don't think with the changes they've made, while they've stayed faithful to the games, they have also been willing to speed certain things up, cut things out entirely. Like the way they're moving things around and also focusing on some other storylines in season 2 where I thought, okay, well, that's odd. Like, why are you doing that now? I think that in season 3 will be sped up a bit. I do not think it'll be the entire season. I do think at some point in the season, we will cut back to where we are in the finale of season 2 and then progress from there.
I think I like your optimism, but it's not
even optimism. Like I don't necessarily care either way because either way is not going to, I'm actually looking forward more to season 3 because of Abby and also Caitlin Dever as an actress and stuff. Like I really like what she's done with the part. And I really like it. The way they've written her, I think is interesting, especially with what she has done. Like I think they have done a good job with that very complicated character to this point. So I'm more interested to see things from her point of view in season 3 than I was for the most of season 2. Like season 2 was fine at this point. Now having the whole thing, season 2 is fine. I have problems.
It's always just fine though.
But it's
season
fine,
2 is
right?
never
Season
the best.
1 I thought was great.
Yeah.
Season 2 is fine. And it's just like it had really high moments and it had moments I'm like, okay, that seems it's I'd rather go play the game. There's been moments during this season where I've said I'd just rather go play the game. And that hasn't shaken. I'm more looking forward to season 3 because again, I'm interested to see what the show will do with that because I think they've done a decent job of exploring that character at this point. But I don't think it'll be for the entire season. But not even just because of just optimism, just because I don't know, the way they've played things out to this point, I just don't think they'll end up doing that.
Yeah, I'm not as optimistic. I think HBO has made this a content block grab, clearly. And I think they are going for those 4 seasons. And I think that next season will be stretched out in ways that we didn't see in the game. So we'll get Abby's 3 days, yes. But I think we're also going to get flashbacks to who Abby was, her entire origin, her relationship with her dad, joining the WLF, what makes her, and like how she rose through the ranks to be this, to basically be the Jessie of Seattle. Like the person that her Isaac Jeffrey writes, like, oh, she's supposed to take over. Like there was that whole scene in this finale. I think we got to actually see that because, fans of the games are like, Tiny Abby is not convincing me because this isn't Brawlic Abby. This is Tiny Abby in this version because Abby in the game is big bruiser, bodybuilder looking Abby. So we don't know why Caitlin Dever's Abby is this badass yet. We saw her get dark killing Joel, but that's it. And she seemed to have command of her friends, but we haven't seen her do anything. So we're going to need all that backstory. We're going to have to get like that flashback episode. There are also other characters, major characters that Abby comes into contact with because, like, if you haven't figured it out, the game is about 2 people, you're playing as a 2-person partner team pretty much at all times, right? And so Abby has her own partnership and her own person, her sidekick. And so the sidekick is going to need backstory and kind of filling in and explaining who they are. And that sidekick helps fill out a different part of this world and what it's all about and what its history is. So we need to get all of that. The WLF, Abby, Seraphite, the war, who some of the what goes on in the Seraphite community through other characters, like all of that has to be mapped out. That's season 3 to me. Like that's going to be everything. And then season 4, we'll be seeing all of those elements they've built up Avengers style collide together in the final kind of violent showdown. So I think that's the active plan right now. And yeah, I think especially what was this one, like 7 episodes?
Mhm.
Yeah, you're talking if they go 6 or 7 episodes for season 3, like 3 of those are days alone, right?
Yeah.
Like 2 of them could be backstory episodes and one's like a setup for the season 4 showdown.
It's possible.
Yeah. And I think they'd be able to get that out faster than waiting too long. You know what I mean? So we'll see. That's just speculation.
Like if they need to like, I mean, the wait between seasons. Yeah, like that needs to be a thing too. Like we need to get hit with season 3 and season 4 relative succession and not, 2-year breaks.
But like with Severance and a bunch of other stuff, we waited those 3 years to get. And I mean, I was doing this and I started in 2007. So I was around for the first writer's strike. And by 2009, most of the stuff we got that year was trash. I mean, when you look back, it really was because it wasn't written well. It wasn't put together well. They had to cobble it together. And the same thing is with all these shows that are returning after 3 years. They're like, we got to get back. But you can tell the writers went on strike at some point. But all right. We beat up on The Last of Us. Janelle, you're our most casual viewer, and this episode I think had did it even have a single cordyceps in this episode?
No. I don't think so. Oh man, I'm embarrassed to say I did not know this was the season finale when I was watching it. And so I was excited for next week to see more of like what's going on between Abby and I guess everyone who is stuck there now. As far as the Joel thing, I just feel like they're trying to get rid of Pedro Pascal this season. Like they're like, okay, we're gonna lose him. Like his contract's up. We're done with him. Let's do this episode, this flashback episode, so that like we can all close the book on Joel. And as someone who didn't play the game, I don't feel as connected to Joel. Like, yes, I love Joel, but I also don't really feel like super connected to anyone, including our lead, Ellie. And I'm just kind of like, okay, well, like if we had an entire season, like the next season, all about Abby, and then at the very end, this scene between Ellie and Joel shows up, I would have been like, what? Why? Like, I don't where did this come from? And I know that's different because in the game, when you were talking about that, I was like, oh my gosh, that would be like really impactful and amazing to like save it for the end of the game. But like in a show, I don't see that working. So I'm fine with how they did it. But it just, the whole thing just felt a little disjointed in the timeline. Like I wanted to see her beat the crap out of that girl in the hospital where she's like, I tortured her to get information. Like, I want to see that. Like, that was the coolest scene in the entire show to me, was in that hospital, seeing the people like frozen on the wall, being infected, breathing the spores. Like, that was the coolest thing at all, like ever. And I want to see more of it. Like, I could have done an entire episode of her just exploring that entire floor and coming across other cordyceps, but that's just me. So far, I would say like overall, obviously season 2 did not hit the way that season 1 did, but I'm still going to be watching it. I'm still going to be checking out. I'm glad it exists. I'm glad they're making it. But it's not like my top shows, basically. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you have it.
Which I can also move into our next piece if you'd like. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
no, I was reading the end of the thing. Now, the end of the thing, like I was reading what happens at the end of the game and why the Joel
Yeah.
scene is there, and
Okay.
it's pretty impactful of why it is where it is.
Yeah.
Because it's a major theme of forgiveness
Mm.
that needs to break through at a key time. And,
Got you.
yeah, and so it is this moment where the haze clears and Ellie kind of remembers the nature of forgiveness and what that's about. And so to put it out there early is it's not that you can't land the plane still, it's a curious choice because it hits you like a ton of bricks in the game when that comes through.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, like and The Last of Us Part 2 might be one of the only stories besides The Count of Monte Cristo that makes you actually step back for a moment and put your bloodlust for revenge aside and be like, yeah, that's a sick feeling. Like, that's not a good feeling. Like, you legit get out of that game and you're like, I don't feel like a winner. Like, I don't feel good. Like, and even when you get to the climax of this game, you're almost begging not to play the climax. You're just like, I don't want to get into this anymore. Like, there's no healthy out of this. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a running feeling throughout that game.
Yeah.
But especially towards that. And I think that's one of those, like, I marvel at people who can go back and replay it.
I've been debating it between season 2 and 3. I'm just so scared.
Like,
I took off work and just was in front of the TV for like 2 straight days. And I remember when I just watched the credits roll and when it just stopped and it was black, I was just sitting there like traumatized. I was just like, what? Like, what is life now? Like,
Definitely doesn't happen with your Mario titles.
Yeah, hell, it doesn't. The original Super Mario Brothers traumatized me much worse than this. Make it all the way to the last level, have Bowser kill you on the last bridge. What? Start all over? Yeah. Anyway, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this property. I mean, we were living in the ultra infallible video game adaptation era there for a split second, but it feels like we're coming back down, but in a weird way. It's not like this is failing to adapt a game. It's just like in a weird way, the game is a better piece of cinema than an actual piece of cinema trying to do the game. Yeah, I think and I think I've said this before up here. I think The Last of Us is a game that can do TV, movie, drama better than TV movie can do the drama of the game. So that's just my takeaway. And I didn't hate this. I know I said a lot of negative things, but I actually didn't hate this season. I thought there were really good parts of it. I really enjoyed, the Joel death episode is like one of the best episodes of TV I've seen in years for a single episode. And the flashback episode I thought was really powerful. Like, if you're a parent at all, especially where I am right now, like that whole episode was just crazy powerful. So I'm not off The Last of Us. I think Caitlin Dever is going to be really good as Abby. I think when you get Abby's story and over the 3 days, it really kind of gets deeper and you begin to understand the game and the parallels and like why this is all kind of like a weird tragic comedy, because like in another life, Ellie and Abby would be like besties, but here we are. So, all right. I think we've done enough. We did a whole half hour. That's pretty much as in-depth as we ever get in this show. So we talked about it for a whole half hour, and that's saying something, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll take a break, clear our palate. Then we're going to come back and talk about light, fluffy superhero stuff for the rest of the show. Welcome back. We're back. All right. So let's talk about something lighter and fluffier. Our disappointment.
Yeah, seriously.
And something going on the Marvel side. Janelle, what's happening?
Right. Well, some of you guys talked about this last week. We did see you in the comments. Don't worry. We just wanted to chat about it this week. Doomsday is delayed, everybody. The Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars have been pushed into December releases, which really bums me out because I was very much looking forward to having my birthday planned for the next 2 years. And that Doomsday went from May 1st, 2026 to December 18th, 2026. And Secret Wars went from May 7th to 2027. Where am I? When did that? December 17th. That's why I was saying 17th.
Yeah.
This is interesting because they shifted the Devil Wears Prada into the Doomsday, which is definitely not going to make my birthday exciting. So I'm very bummed about that. And I think it's going to be releasing with Ice Age, like random. So it's not really going to have much competition. It's going to be, I think Dune would be the only competition, but I'm not even sure if that's officially announced yet. They were talking about doing a December 18th release for Dune. But I don't think that's actually 100% been like confirmed.
Yeah, I mean, we're already looking forward to Doomsday. But no, I mean, there's not been any confirmed production progress on Dune Messiah yet. So that's kind of still up in the air.
Rywood says they're going to get delayed again. No.
Yeah.
Do you guys think they'll get delayed again?
Maybe they could. I mean, I don't believe in Marvel releasing big this size 10 poles in winter holiday season until I see it. Like I know Avatar, like they're going with the Avatar of it all. Disney loves a holiday date. But I haven't seen Marvel do this. Like Marvel is synonymous with summer. And so I don't believe it until I see it. I believe this could be a stopgap to just announcing, we're just going to push it till summer. Like, we're not getting them until summer 2027 and 2028. And I believe that more because I have an article that I still was up based on something that they kind of registered or Feige said that always looked like the first X-Men project would be in 2028. And so I've been kind of leaning towards that. The timeline makes a lot more sense to me if we finish Secret Wars like summer 2028 and by the end of the year we're getting into like X-Men territory. So maybe, yeah.
Man, that seems so far away.
Mm-hmm.
Just for that and then looking at recent,
but it already
that's a long X-Men. That X-Men gold mine's a long way away.
Well, it's 2 years. I mean, wait, no, it's 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. Yeah. I mean, it's a long way away, but like, it also raises certain questions, though. Like, already, it's kind of like, okay, but we didn't hear a change for Spider-Man. Brand New Day, which is supposed to be set between Doomsday and Secret Wars. So if those are moving and Spider-Man's not moving, like, what does that mean? So I don't know, man. I have no idea what all this is going to look like. I just, like, what is it now? They're starting to shoot Doomsday now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so earliest it can be is what, late 2026? Yeah, that's the earliest they could even get it out.
Earliest, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think
the question is this Marvel movie. Better than another season of What If.
Yeah, but I just don't know if I've never seen them do it. So it's not that they can't do it. It's just, will they? I could see them doing something like breaking it up. If we get an announcement they push Spider-Man, then I'll believe it. I believe that they'll do December Avengers, summer Spider-Man, December Avengers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And so, like, I could see that happening if we move Spider-Man.
In that article, it's saying it's competing with Ice Age, Jumanji 3, and Shrek 5, and the only other like I guess like adultish type film would be the Dune 3 that still hasn't even been released. Like they haven't confirmed 100% yet. So
Shrek 5 could make bank.
oh yeah, like I think that I think I would go to both, right? Like
Yeah, these are good
a lot
counter
of these.
programming things.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you're gonna take the families to go see Ice Age, regardless that thing's got legs.
Mhm.
You're gonna take them to see Shrek.
Even Jumanji, that was
Jumanji's a good one.
fun.
That's
I
a
love
family. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. This is that could be a nice. I mean, I know it's a bummer for summer because, like, you know, look, theaters need theaters right
And
now.
my
It's just like
birthday. I mean,
thanking
how
the
rude.
altar of Stitch for bringing in all the money. Okay, so like they're happy right now, but like, you know, they want those big summer tent poles.
Yeah.
That draws people in, but Christmas they ain't hurt either. There's a holiday thing, and it sends you, you know, into end of quarter four on a good note.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad either. So, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So this X-Men article I wrote from back in the day. Yeah. So Marvel has already staked out 3 2028 dates. One in February, one in May, and one in November. So
You're welcome.
yeah. So we're talking about if Secret Wars moves from December to either February or May of 2028. Like, that's not crazy. I mean, it's not. They already have the date staked out. So again, it's all possible. We'll see. But I mean, I think my takeaway from all of this is, aside from tinfoil hat theories, is that I'm cool with them taking the time to get everything right for these films.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't need to rush it. Like, get the VFX done, get everybody's scheduling done, get all the people in it, take the time, make it special, make it big, because we need this to be big, baby. So let's put in the work. Gotta be do or die time. So yeah,
like we haven't really we haven't touched on that. I feel like in the aftermath of Thunderbolts, we probably do that in a future episode because that would be like a 20-minute thing in of itself. But like we do kind of need to feel like, especially after Fantastic Four, maybe assess what the MCU's fortunes look like after what could be 3 not so killer debuts at box office goes. Thunderbolts is stuck in the 400 million area.
I didn't think it was going to get above that though. I
thought it would get 6. Like I thought it would hit 5 or 6, and it's 4. But
it's just so good.
But at the time, we had discussions of hype meters, and we're like, "Oh, is he's going to hit $1 billion? Are these going to hit things like Fantastic Four?" My faith in that has increased because I'm really excited for it. The trailers have done a really good job of getting me invested, and you know, the cast is fantastic. But like, hey, I didn't even mean to do that. But like, you know, how much money is that going to make? And then if it doesn't hit, you know, for me, if it doesn't hit that at least 500 million for a brand new property of characters that no one knows, but it's been heavily hyped, and with the push it's getting, I don't know, man, that's like 3 in a row, you know, and everyone knew who the Thunderbolts were, and everyone especially knew who Captain America was. And we can't seem to get above, you know, we can't even seem to get in the 600 million range. It's not great.
I think Thunderbolts got held back because it was a little too scary for that younger demographic. So like I didn't think it. Once I saw the movie, I was like, oh yeah, I can't take my son to see that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I took him even to see Captain America. He was bored out of his mind, but I took him. You know, Thunderbolts is too heavy. Like it's way too heavy for that younger demo to be watching. So I didn't expect it to make. I thought it would be great if it made $500 million. Like if it made 500 million, I was like, wow, that'd be really good. So I expected it to make around that. Fantastic Four is a different story. They are going full merch with this. I mean, the promotion for this, the merchandising, it's been crazy. This is a full ass Marvel movie, but I'm still concerned. I actually haven't seen anything really. Like we really haven't seen anything from this film. We've seen 1 split second of Mr. Fantastic stretching. That concerns me. It very much concerns me. We've seen almost no action in this film. Like no action, no real exploration, no real fantastical stuff. It's been New York set pieces. Like so far, like there's nothing to this film except the Baxter Building conversational banter and a scene of a flaming cloud and Galactus walking. So that's not to say that's not there. They don't have the goods. It's just we haven't seen anything. For the average viewer, there's not a whole lot to get them in the theater for this one. Like, they've seen Fantastic Four before twice, and so far we've just been showing you Pedro Pascal doing the least amount of work for a Marvel character I've ever seen. Like, no Marvel physical bod, he doesn't have the Marvel bod. We don't have a shot of Reed putting on a shirt or something. Like, there's no action so far. It's just Pascal looking worried a lot.
And he does it extremely well.
He does it very well.
Yeah, he's father. He is father. I get it,
Oscar-worthy, worried performance right there.
But again, there's no there yet. Like, they've been basically just saying, hey, look, we didn't truly screw this up. Like, the retro world, the Thing looks cool. Like,
and here's awesome. Yeah. I love the way he looks more and more as every trailer goes by. I'm like, I think they got it. I think they got it. Even though I still have a fondness for Michael Chiklis's.
Oh, me too. He was great.
The Thing. It was good.
That was like one of the things that fans casted immediately when they were like, who would play the Thing? They're like, dude from The Shield. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, and it's also the proximity to Superman, as people are pointing out. There's a lot coming in the next couple of weeks, and people don't have money for it all. There's Jurassic World, which is guaranteed. Superman, I think, has won the intrigue battle for a lot of people, and Fantastic Four is kind of there, but it's just like, is the hype there?
Also, How to Train Your Dragon is this month.
Yep.
It's June.
Yep, it's coming up. Yeah, we going to see that.
Yeah,
fam, we going to screen it on Tuesday.
I Know What You Did Last Summer reboot. Is that July or June?
Yep, it's coming. I saw the trailer last night for this horror film. Yo, that looks. I don't watch any trailers online anymore, so I wait till the theater. I'm in for that.
That looks so good, man. Yeah. That's got look. It has Scream vibes, of bringing back old characters and intertwining those stories. I was a horror fan in that small little era, and so I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream have always been those two properties that I'm not a big horror person, but I like those. Those are fun. There's a fondness there. And Anissa, I told her it was coming. Anissa was like, "Oh, we're going day one. We're gonna go see it." Yeah, it's one of the rare ones that gets us both on the thing. Also, I went her over with Superman, so she's hyped. We're gonna go see Superman. I'm excited. Oh my god, did we lose Kofi?
Oh my gosh, is he frozen? I just thought he was like really excited.
He froze in the thing. I always freeze.
And he's actually smiling. We have a smiling Kofi frozen. Dang it, he's gone.
Oh no, he did it.
We missed the screenshot. Somebody clip it, please, and send it to us.
Boo.
Boo.
All right. Well, with that note, I'll launch into mine because I'm up next, and it's actually something I brought up anyway. So
go for it.
We'll talk about Superman when he jumps back in here. Yes. So we got into a spirited discussion for those who listened or watched last week. Stabler's working on the clip. Oh my god, amazing. Okay.
Thanks, Gabby.
So we were talking about Superman and possibly, we got leaks, or not even leaks, there were just toys that came out and we're like, hey, that dude who's all masked up, that's Ultraman over there on the box, not even making a thing, right? And so we got into this discussion about whether or not Kofi has a theory that that's Henry Cavill under the mask. Like, what would that be like if he, they pull the mask off and it's Henry Cavill, and all of a sudden you've bridged the universes and really lean into this, right? I'm very much adamantly against that. I think that I don't like that idea at all. Now here's the thing. In Kofi's defense, he got another little boost when Comic Book got to show off some Superman pops, and in the next wave of pops, they have let me make sure I always get his name wrong. The Hammer of Boravia, who you've seen is the kind of almost juggernaut looking character in the Superman trailer. Big helmet, big armored guy shooting like a big eye blast at a building and then punching Superman, right? So there were two mysterious characters in the trailers. It was Ultraman because he's got the mask, and then it was this other guy who we known as the Hammer of Boravia because of newspapers said his name, a couple other things have said his name, so we're like, okay, well, that's who that is. But keen eyes noticed that on the wave pops, the Hammer of Boravia is also getting a pop, but the pop he's getting is numbered the exact same as Ultraman's pop. And Funko Pop numbers don't change if it's a version of that character. Like if it's a variant or a chase.
Oh, look at
And
you.
and the Ultraman, now I would love to take credit for this. I did not pick this out.
Oh,
I give full credit to
we
the
love our
comic book
internet
staff.
sleuths.
Yeah,
Yes.
for noticing that I did not. So Ultraman is actually a chase, and he's the 583, and the Hammer of Baravia is also 583. And so Ultraman is the rare one that you might find, but the Hammer of Baravia is the standard, which means they're the same character. So why they're the same character remains to be seen, but it does give just a little, I will say a little more, not credence, because I still think that's a bonkers theory that Cavill's going to show up there, but it does give a little bit more credence to the, like, well, you know, what if they're going so far to hide the identity of this person? What does that mean? That means it has to be like an actor or actress that they really want to keep under wraps for a surprise, or a character that they want to keep under surprise. And, you know, look, Henry Cavill appearance in this as an alternate Superman would absolutely fit into that type of secret. You would want to keep that as secret as long as possible, unless you're going to lead with marketing or something, but like you would want to keep that in secret as long as possible. It's also one of those things where if it's also just Corn Sweat, you would want to keep that under wraps too, because if it's just him and it does break open this multiverse of possibilities within your Superman movie, that's also a secret worth guarding.
Dude.
So I do think, like, it doesn't mean by any stretch that it is Cavill. I'm just saying, like, it does leave just a little more credence.
Are we really getting into multiverse like in this first?
But you have to.
Oh,
you have to acknowledge it exists. I'm not saying you have to dive in.
Yeah.
That's where I think Marvel went wrong. They made their entire universe.
They made their whole personality.
Yes. And as Bianca Belair says, you don't go here. This ain't your thing. All right. Leave the multiverse to DC. They do it all the time.
I like the idea of the multiverse. I really do. I love it. I just feel like it could have been done better, but I don't need it. I really don't need it in DC right now to start.
I don't think you need it either.
Like, I don't even need it discussed.
But it needs to be, it's part of their DNA.
Okay.
I think if you're
you're the expert. I trust you fully.
I just think it's okay to like acknowledge it exists, but you don't have to make your entire continuity and world about the multiverse. You can just say like, hey, it's a thing. Yes, there are other versions of characters out there.
Gotcha.
And then move on to whatever you're doing, right? Like, you don't have to build an entire arc around it, is all I'm saying. Like, to me, that's where you go wrong, especially like you say, so early. I love that you're planning the foundation for it, but then just move on and do other stuff.
Love that.
I also love Hammer of Baravian Cream, that Bavarian cream. That's great. That's fantastic. Oh, okay. That's good. All right. So what we can't move into the next thing because Kofi's not
Let's talk comics.
Oh man. You know what? I wonder if let's talk comics. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second here. Let me check some.
Unless you want me to go down a whole rabbit hole of Doctor Who.
Yeah, let's talk comics. Cause I want to save that just in case, you know, we'll come back around to bring it back because I'm really interested to hear about that movie.
Same.
But yeah, let's talk comics. So let's start with one I feel like I know we've both been loving, Absolute Wonder Woman. So let's start there. So I want to start with Absolute Wonder Woman number 8 because in this issue we get kind of the Absolute Universe has been really strong about taking villains and really giving them a complete makeover. We've talked about it kind of a lot more over in Batman because they've just debuted more villains, right? I mean, the Mr. Freeze arc we just got and how that shook everything up for that character is so different. And this one, Dr. Poison, is similar because, like, if you remember, we got a version of this character actually in the Wonder Woman movie. If you remember,
my gosh,
and then also the character's always been, random kind of antagonist every so often, kind of just part of a bigger plot and things. But here we get kind of one of those absolute reinventions of the character,
which we
and
love.
man, it kicks. It's so good. I just, I love what they do with this book. Time and time again. Janelle, how have you been feeling about the run to this point, but also this issue in particular?
I feel like this run has been a little less easy to follow than like the introduction for me, like in the beginning, because the story's opening up so much, right? And we're getting more characters, and we're getting more development, and we're getting new adventures and things like that. But the thing that I love so much about this is I don't feel like a noob when I'm reading it, because I feel like we're all kind of on this journey of getting to know this absolute version of Wonder Woman, and this story, and where she comes from, and all of this like lore, and it's just really fun. Like even just little moments like when she's speaking to the birds in the beginning.
Yes.
It's so lovely. Like she's so caring. She has such a big heart. Like just in that, like there's one page where she's talking to birds and asking them to do her a favor. And she's so loving and nurturing and sweet. And it's just so cool to see that side of her. I love those little moments. And those have been scattered throughout all of these reads.
Yes.
So I know that's just something little to talk about, but obviously the overarching story is just, it's really it's interesting, and it's alluring, and you want to keep going. And not to mention, I really like the style of the art. It's
Yes.
just a different comic book illustration for me. It's not typical, and I just really love it. Like I feel like when you try to be different, you're either going to be like, it's going to be too much, it's going to be too weird, or you try too hard. This is just hitting all of the notes. It's perfect in every way.
Yeah, Hayden Sherman and Jordi Belair are just killing it on the illustrations and the colors. Becca Carey's one of my favorite letterists. Right up there with Ariana O'Hare. And Kelly Thompson is just one of my favorite writers. But it's just bringing so much out of those, like you said, those small little moments. The way she interacts with the world, the way she interacts with other characters, even the stuff between like Steve and Barbara, I love, right? Because like, Barbara Minerva, becomes Cheetah in the mainline continuity, right? And so we're interested to see like how that goes, but just their little interactions of like, look, I know you don't do this all the time, but like I've just learned to like trust. And she's like, yeah, that's not really my thing, but like I have questions, and like
she's like, I'm intelligent.
All those little side conversations are all meaningful, and they get pulled in at later times, right? And then you have this just big kind of epic plot in the center of this, and yeah, I just I adore this. So yeah, glad to have. The artwork on the series has been fantastic overall, even when they had the kind of small like in between arc with the different artists. But Hayden Sherman's their work is amazing. So yes, definitely there. Let's move to switch over to Marvel real quick, and we'll go to Ultimate Spider-Man number 17. I feel like we are all right, I'll speak for myself, sorry. I feel like I am running out of ways to praise this book. Ultimate Spider-Man, I feel like I've since issue 1 have been like, this is great. And I feel like I'm still saying, hey, this is great, for completely different reasons. But this is all about Harry and Gwen, pretty much. And my word, I have never been more interested in a Harry Osborn story. Probably, in my entire life. I don't think I've ever been this riveted by a Harry Osborn story. And what they're doing with Gwen and the Mysterio stuff is just, stuff I would not have. I mean, if you had asked me like, hey, can you anticipate what they're gonna do with Gwen Stacy in the book? I would have never come up with this. So yeah, I think and how they're tying it in all into what Ben is doing. And again, they're making Ben a strong character unto himself, as opposed to him just being Peter's, like Peter's grandfather. Like they're not.
Yeah,
he's not
cool.
Like that's the trap that they fall in with May a lot, right? It's just that she's a plot device, or she's just Peter's grandmother, as opposed to making May. That's why the time she shines is when they make May a character.
Yeah,
Ben's a character, and then you know, like I love this book.
Yeah,
What
you're
did you
right.
what did you think?
That's a really I really, really like Ben in it. Yeah, it's tough because like I do love this, but I wish I would have read it before my Wonder Woman because I'm just so I just it's hard to pit these up against each other because they're all very, very well done and they're all just kind of like a whole different side of all the characters that we're reading, like Marvel and DC. I like, did they plan this? They're both doing this at the same time. I don't know. It feels planned, but um, I just feel like it's just a super strong story as well. And I really love that they are kind of focusing in and giving us more depth behind like Gwen in this one. And it's not just Spider-Man like
Right.
in the center of every single issue. And yeah, I mean I'm really liking this a lot too. I would say Wonder Woman is still my number one, but
With you.
yeah,
I'm with you. I'm
yeah,
with you right. At some point, you know, we need to do that soon because we're coming up on issue eights, right?
yeah.
Coming up
Yep,
on
we
issue eights
read
of
8.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So now with once Superman's next week. So Absolute Superman's next week. So once Absolute
cool.
Superman comes out, we could probably do another revisiting of
What are we
hey,
on 8 with Batman? I can't even
I want
remember
to
now.
say yes. I
I'm
think
like
because it
s
always thought Batman was first. So if
Yeah,
Absolute
okay,
Superman's at eight, yes,
got you.
we're at eight. And then next week is also Absolute Green Lantern, no, which I'm very excited about. So I think we'll have three issues then of everything because Flash came out this past week. So and then we're gonna get it right into that other book, Absolute Martian Manhunter, right now. So yeah, I think we will have 3 volumes of or 3 issues of the next wave and then
Mhm.
8 issues of the first wave. So I think that's a pretty fair, I mean, not
Yeah,
obviously not a fair comparison for the new books, but like enough to get a sense of hey, does this move
right.
up in your ranking? Absolute Martian Manhunter, Janelle. What do you think about this? Because this is, I mean, I feel like it's safe to say this is the most wildly different book in all of the Absolute books, which is saying something.
Yeah.
But what do you feel about this?
Um, I I'm having a little issue with following. Like there are certain things that I don't quite understand what's happening, but I almost feel like that's the point. Like
Mhm.
they don't want you. Like I feel like our writer is going, "Ha ha, you don't know what's happening. You're very confused at the words. Nothing's making sense to you." That's what you're supposed to feel. Because even like our main character is like, I don't know what he's trying to say. Like, I don't know what he's trying to tell me. I can't really tell. And I'm like, okay, me either. Thank God we're on the same page here. Um, I don't know anything about Martian Manhunter outside of this. So this as an introduction in the comic world is quite overwhelming at times because I'm trying not to take too much of this and go, okay, this is the Martian Manhunter story. Like this is I'm trying to think of it as like this is a Martian Manhunter story. Um I still love the art. Like I would frame it on my wall. Like it's so trippy and like 70s, like swirly.
Yes,
And yes, I feel like I'm at like Woodstock or something, like as Woodstock posters. But I I am having a hard time following. Like I feel like I wish I knew what the story was at this point. Like we're into this. I want to know what's going on with it's White Martian, right? I'm trying to
Mhm.
understand like what's happening and I just feel like they're taking a really long time. Like he's our lead is so confused for many issues. He still doesn't understand what's happening and neither do I, and I'm like, I
Yeah,
get what you're doing, but I think that one issue of being confused would be fine, not three. I think we're on three. Like
yeah.
uh, I just wish I knew what we were doing and then like getting to the story. Like this is hey, now we're gonna tell you like this is what's happening and let's like fight the baddies.
I get. I was gonna quote a Friends episode where Chandler's like trying to explain something to Joey, and Joey's just not getting it. He's like, "Get there faster!" And he's like slaps the tape, and it's
I
fantastic.
am Joey. Like I'm Joey and Phoebe together as one.
So so yeah, I you know, I think I because I completely understand it's a lot. There's a lot
Mhm.
going on here. And I got to give Kofi credit because, like, when we talked about issue 1, Kofi was like, I think this. I think me and you were both kind of on the same page as far as like, the main character is not very likable. Like
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to
right.
kind of get
Because of the wife, like,
relate.
and his
Yeah,
family.
and
Yeah.
this character's not making me want to read about him,
Hmm.
but that this was really kind of a story about having the Martian side be this way to essentially show him how to function within a family, and almost like how to learn compassion and love and those things. I feel like that is crystal clear in this issue, because two of my favorite moments in this issue have nothing to do with white Martian stuff or the stuff that's going on with the case. It's the one where he's sitting with his wife on the couch and their thoughts are just all around them, and there's like so much. He's like, so many things are left unsaid, but now he can hear them. So he like, his wife's thinking things, they're on the opposite side of the couch, and then he's thinking things and no one's saying anything, and the Martian's sitting right in the middle. I thought that was fantastic. Like, those kinds of ideas, and also anyone who's ever been in a couple understands that completely. That's a very relatable thing in the middle of an argument, or after an argument, of that time where it's like neither one of you wants to say anything, and because you're like, oh, it's going to start an argument if I say this, or it's going to hurt their feelings if I say this, or whatever. Everyone's been there, regardless of coupledom. So I just feel like that's easy to understand. And then also the moment with his son, and he walks in, and there's a moment where the Martian's sitting there and he's playing like clay or whatever with the son, and then he's like, what? And his son just looks so sad. It hit me as a parent, right? It's just like, oh my god, like, talk to your kids. There was very much like a moment for me. I'm still on a regular basis angry at him. I am angry at the main character on a consistent basis throughout the issue.
Yes.
But I understand that's part of
Yes.
the story, and I love the Martian and what he brings to it. And when his phone rings, like, you should get that. But he's still playing with that. There's just so many things I adore about this book, and this one is one, like, kind of like Absolute Superman was, where over the long haul, I feel like this could sneak up on me and become one of my favorites of the Absolute line, and it's already made big strides.
It's incredibly
first
unique.
issues.
I
Yeah.
will like, it is a standout in that regard for sure.
Denise Camp and Javier Rodriguez killing that. Yes. So there was a couple books I wanted to mention.
Okay.
And just give a shout out here.
Yeah.
Superman number 26 is also out. And if you haven't been keeping up with Superman, number one, I think some of the stuff that's happening in the Superman books, I have seen it brought up in the comments. I've seen some Batman stuff come up in the comments of like Hush 2 and other things. And like, I will say, outside of Absolute Batman, some of the stuff ain't kicking it for me, happening over in the Batman universe. Wait. We might be getting Kofi back soon.
Yay.
Hey, we're getting it back soon. So Superman number 26 is another step in, like, if you didn't read 25 was kind of this big culmination of storylines with like the XL Lex Luthor clone that was there, and what Supercorp really was, and Superman's like dealing with all of that. And this book moves into, again, this series is really good about reaching back into issues like from the beginning of the series and pulling characters in, threads in. All of that matters. Hey, woo!
Guess who's back? Back
Amazing.
again.
Guess who's back?
Yeah.
Back again.
Yeah, gonna be one of them days. All right.
So we touched on Superman. We dipped in the comics. But let's halt that. I'll get into those mentions later. Kofi, what did you want to tell you? I know you got into the theater about some stuff.
Yeah, I went to go see Bring Her Back, the new film from the horror filmmakers behind Talk to Me. And yeah, I'm gonna just pull this all up because now I have to pull all this stuff back up. Danny and Michael Philippou, two Australian horror filmmakers who made the kind of breakout film Talk to Me. So they are back with a new kind of horror thriller, and it's basically It's again set in Australia, Australian customs. It's about a brother and sister who, or stepbrother and stepsister who, through tragic circumstances, end up in foster care and get placed with a mother who's played by Sally Hawkins, who people probably best know from the Guillermo del Toro movie, The Shape of Water. She's the woman who screws the fish in Shape of Water. She's also been in Godzilla King of the Monsters, Wonka, and Godzilla 14. She's like plays a monarch queen. She's in Paddington. So we know Sally Hawkins from a lot of stuff. This is definitely a departure for her. She's playing a kind of foster mother with her own kind of deep baggage, and it's one of those kind of descent into madness kind of things where you go to a home, you see this mother figure. She seems pretty cool at first, but it quickly kind of goes downhill from there. And there is this horror. I mean, it's an interesting film. Sally Hawkins is great in this as this kind of caregiver slash horror, centerpiece as the twisted mom archetype. And so the story here is actually really deep. Like Talk to Me, these guys like to kind of use horror as a method of talking about like trauma, life trauma, all that stuff. Obviously, this one's about grief and loss. It's about, the kids lose a parent. The mother has her own kind of tragic history. And then there's this mystery person kind of thrown in the middle, this kid, Oliver, who you see in the trailers with the red eyes and kind of what's going on there. And so there's a whole occult level to this. And it's an interesting movie because it's very much like a short story. You're thrown in the middle of stuff. You get the sketches of stuff. They never fully explain to you kind of the occult part of it. You get these little video snippets of a ritual that looks, in the first image, is pretty haunting, of like what this ritual is and like kind of what it does, what they're trying to accomplish here, and the mystery of if that's possible is never really addressed. It's more about the characters and what they're going through emotionally. And so, yeah, it's an interesting short story, but these guys can do stuff that does chill you to the bone. There are parts of this movie. There was one part of this movie where I refused to watch it, and I just put my hands, like, close
Whoa.
my eyes, put my hands over my ears. I just couldn't take it for what they were doing, and I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like still sitting here like grabbing myself. So yeah, there are parts of this movie that are just
Wow.
gory, grotesque, and pretty freaky. And the kid who plays Oliver deserves all the credit in the world for how freaky that kid is throughout the movie. So yeah, I mean, it's another kind of promising horror film from these emerging horror makers. I don't think it's the greatest thing ever. I think the story gets, again, too much that's still too vague and kind of muddled about the story. But Sally Hawkins and the imagery in this movie, when it comes to the horror and the creepiness and all of that, it's pretty unsettling and it's pretty nuts. So they definitely have talent. So keep an eye out for them. You don't have to believe all the commercials. This is the scariest. They've marketed to hell. A24's got one hell of a marketing team. And like every movie they release is like, this is the scariest movie I've ever seen. And I wouldn't go that far. Yeah, Briarwood, the kitchen knife scene. I didn't watch that. I can't. I would not watch that. I saw
Well,
it
that's the
started to
one.
happen. Oh, yeah. And I was just like, no. So, yeah.
There was a quote in here that said, "It follows you home." And that's a great quote, number one. But number two, it seems like it's actually pretty apt for this.
And I have a thing for, like, this is why I like Hereditary as well, which is a very similar movie about grief, about loss, and about the darkness and how it can swallow you up. But it's also very much a twisted mother. I don't like twisted mother things. Like, those
Yeah.
things freak me out. Like, whenever like you take the mom who's like the archetype of everything great and noble in your life and you make it into something scary, that freaks me out like really bad. So that Toni Collette scene in Hereditary, yeah, that still sticks with me when she's like banging her head on the cellar door. Yeah, all that stuff. And so this one is very much that. This is very much a twisted mom kind of story. Um,
Oh yeah. See, me, it's like abduction. Like anything related to like that kind of thing really bother, like it really gets under my skin and bothers me,
Yeah.
because like that's just the thing, right? So like, yeah, it's those movies. That's why freaking Five Nights, was it Freddy's?
Five Nights at Freddy's
Just hit me out of nowhere with that crap, because I was like, oh, I'm going to see a movie about a bunch of animatronic Chuck E. Cheese trying to kill me, and no, we're gonna bury an abduction story in there. I was like, no, that threw me, man.
Oh, you don't ever watch Denny Villeneuve, who's Prisoners. Don't ever watch that
I've
movie.
not watched that, and I'm adding that to my list, and we're not going to do that. I will say that recent news that I feel like A24 has just been, on a roll, and the fact that they're doing that Elden Ring movie, is pretty crazy. That
with
kind of makes
Alex
me more excited
Garland.
for that.
Yeah, that's gonna be nuts. I mean, if that's the way you want to do it, though, like get us in that dark, gritty fantasy stuff. Yeah. But all right, so Bring Her Back is out. Horror fans, you can go check that out. I have not gotten a chance to see Karate Kid Legends. I will be going to see that. I'm going to take my son. He's very big into Karate Kid all of a sudden, so we're going to go see that. But we'll be able to talk about that. I will say also, I saw Lilo and Stitch, and damn it, man, I was not trying to cry in these movies. But I never watched the animated one. It missed me.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, so this was my first time seeing it, but I came away surprisingly liking Lilo and Stitch a lot more than I thought I would. It's a really good story. Yeah, no, there was a thing. Allie lost it. It was like, this is my family. It is small, it is broken, but it is good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
That is such a great line.
I was like, oh man, see,
It's broken.
damn it, man. Yeah, but Lilo and Stitch was good. I didn't expect it to be that good, but I really actually enjoyed it. Whole family enjoyed it. So I would put that on the successful end of the Disney remakes. Also because awesome cast. Like the lady who plays Tutu is always hilarious. Tia Carrera, I was like freaking out. I was like, is that Tia Carrera?
She's the original voice of Nani too. Which
is
so
she?
Cool. Yeah, she plays Nani in the animated version. And so then they brought her back as a different. I will say, Tutu, oh my gosh, brand new character. Wasn't in the original movie, but fantastic. The whole thing where she's talking about she's like when they first get Stitch at the pet place, and she's like, it kind of looks like a scary, I forget what she calls it, like a monster or something. The way she delivers that line is great.
Yeah, no, that actress, she's hilarious. She's a funny comedian. But yeah, she was great. And so, I love Lilo and Stitch too. So that's what's going on in the movies. There's a lot.
Woohoo! Did you want to? We went through comics because we weren't sure if we get you back, but I wanted to get your viewpoint on Ultimate Spidey, Absolute Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter.
I love what they continue to do with the mythos of Ultimate Spider-Man, kind of weaving in. Now we got this Harry Gwen and their relationship getting very complicated. A lot of revelations about who knew what and kind of how they relate, and that dynamic is you can already see the tensions there. But Hickman, this mythos continues to be very good. Like the pop-ups of the other Mysterios after, who's the Mysterios are really kind of funny to see how they're kind of just embedded everywhere, and they've got kind of everything on lock in this little secret society of theirs. But I will see, this is a book where, and I said this at the beginning when this book dropped, I said, this is going to be another book when the guest artist is, it's going to be hell being the guest artist on this book, because you're just there to catch hell, basically. Because the regular artist, there's no surpassing the regular artwork of this book. And so you always know when there's a guest artist. But yeah, interesting. Continues to be a very good, interesting reinvention of the Spider-Man mythos. Absolute Wonder Woman is still just doing its thing and killing it. Like, it's kind of, I feel like we're really starting to see this version of Diana kind of like settle. I think they found the character by now, and it's still Diana, but it's again a different Diana, but still has that thing, the compassion, like the kind of powerful woman, but still has that kind of good, pure little girl kind of like aspect, heart to her. Even when dealing with weird monsters and stuff, which is even funnier for Wonder Woman. That juxtaposition to her in hell, like I didn't get it at first, but now I get it, because like it really does bring out the Wonder Woman, right? Like she can love anything, even the weird little creatures and things in hell and all that stuff. And seeing her utilize magic and god powers, get a little bit more Doctor Strangey on us, like all of this stuff is working for me. And so it's kind of the reinventions of a lot of the supporting cast. So I've been digging it. We got through a whole new storyline. We're on like our third arc in Wonder Woman, and and just seeing kind of how it's developed with the sound of the Tetracide and everything, and seeing Barbara begin, they're doing good jobs there. And finally, Martian Manhunter is at the top of my list. I mean, this is one of the most innovative comics I've seen in years, and I've just been walking around all week and being like, it's all about the smoke, Jones.
That's
All
a great
about
last
the
line.
smoke. They think it's about the fire, but it's all about the smoke. And just like how they've settled, because when we started this, we're like, okay, that's very stylized, but can you make something out of this?
Right.
And how they're actually making something out of this, and the relationship between the Martian and John Jones, and making sure, like you said, as I came in on that, John Jones is ironically like more of a Martian himself, trying to relate to other people and connect with them, and the Martian kind of gets it. And setting up what the villainy of the White Martian is, as this kind of widespread mental kind of actual mind virus, not the woke mind virus that we talk about on Twitter, but like the actual mind virus. So yeah, good stuff. All these alternate universe comics are killing it. I agree with you comparatively to like reading a Hush redo and
That's so great.
some of the other stuff happening in the mainline Marvel books. It's just like, yeah, just I'll be in the alt universes. I'm good.
Yeah, and I mean, look, we were leading to because I saw it in the comments. Hush 2 is not getting a lot of praise. It was heavily hyped, and it is pretty though. It's really pretty. Jim Lee had lost a step. It's doing some things. So right now, I would say yes, you read Absolute, you read Ultimate, also Superman. The Superman line is really great. Supergirl just came out, and that was fantastic. Felt very different, but still part of the Superman family. And Superman Unlimited, I really enjoyed Dan Slott's big debut in the Superman world. And then Superman the Core series, we're diving into Red Kryptonite, and that is like they're again picking up from things that were done by Farm and Graft back in like some of the earlier arcs. They're picking that back up and they're moving into it, and it makes sense. This has been one of the most rewarding long-term series, and all credit to the amazing team.
Oh man, just talk about what you're
Williamson.
really here for. You just were here for Superman versus Marilyn Moonlight. That's what you just.
Dude, the last page, I lost my mind. I was like,
I know,
yes,
see,
Marilyn Moonlight's back.
Yeah.
Such a cool
No,
character.
that is. I mean, what they've done with that mythos is great, and the Red Kryptonite using that is great. I would love to see Red Kryptonite Superman versus the Red Lanterns in like a pissed
there we
off
go.
off.
But
But I'm with
40
Brywood
Kryptonites.
too. Batman just Hush throwing in Bane and Robin. Like, what are we do? Like, I need some backstory. Like, because I'm with Brywood. Like, what are we doing? I was there for City of Bane.
That.
Like, yeah. So anyway,
no one gets that
that's
after he
comics.
snapped Alfred's neck in front of him. There's no way he's working with him in any sort of capacity other than to torture him.
Yeah. So that's it for comics. That's it for movies. Matt, you can take it away.
Let's one thing, a couple I wanted to mention real quick that are out this week if you want to give a read for something very different. Mommy Blog #1 from Marguerite Bennett and Eleanor Carlini. This book is it's a black comedy, super gory. It's literally about this like super mom has a blog and she's keeping tabs on like her gated community, but eventually it's like, oh, there's a couple of disappearances, and so they're like, oh, there's someone like getting in, and I have to be hyper vigilant. And as you can see from the cover, for those who watch the live blog, that results in a lot of bloody things that happen. It's super like it's probably like it's very sarcastic, it's very humorous, but it's a very dark comedy. So if you're in for something very different, this would be an issue to check out. Also, like I said, Superman #26, Exquisite Corpses. You can check out my full review on Comic Book. But this one was a book that we mentioned a little while back of how like kind of these 13 very rich and powerful families are kind of always vying for control of America. And this happens like every couple of years. They have this big, they find this podunk small town. They corner it off from everybody, and they each pick a killer to go in there and try and take the top spot. And whoever emerges as the last one wins control of America for that next 5 years or whatever. And they do this every so often. So this book is like a supersized issue. I think it's like 60 pages, but it's really good. Like they do a very good job of world building this. It's a lot of each family has picked a very unique, weird type of assassin. It's very cool. So again, something very different. Check that. All right, so today's a big day. You know why it's a big day? Because Marvel Rivals season 2.5 is here, and it's already live. It went live 2 hours ago. It's officially here. Ultron, the flying strategist, can now be played by everyone. And finally,
another flying strategist, I'm gonna light you up.
we have an answer to you, Human Torch, Iron Man, and Storm players that like to just all sit up there in the sky and pelt down stuff. Not anymore. Ultron's here, and what's
I
cool
will
about
snatch
Ultron?
your soul with White Queen, or I've become a Buckeye, Deadeye with Bucky. I will
You have
right
to.
out of you.
You have to
Yeah.
like have some kind of answer because they just pelt you from far away. Not only can he do that, he can give everybody shields, and then his ultimate is literally a giant blast that heals and damages enemies. Like and he has a team up attack, right? Also, it's not in the video, but we have 6 new team up attacks in this game. Jeff NATO is the one that I want to play immediately because it literally makes Sharknado a thing, and Storm picks him up in her tornado and swirls him around, and it does damage the entire time, swallows everybody. Fantastic. So yes, so this is live now. Also, the combat chest is also now live, which is kind of like a sort of mini battle pass. So the other one's still active. You can still get all your stuff. I still have a couple things I got to unlock, but the combat chest.
Cleared it.
I'm on the last page. I'm on the last
Cleared
page
it.
of it.
Patch suit.
Oh, you got the
Costume
patch suit. I missed
coins.
out on
I got
patch suit.
everything, baby.
I waited. I saved all my because like I have some credit sitting on PlayStation. I saved it all for the season to launch so I could buy a bunch of costumes. We got the new combat chest. Also unlocks like a bunch of emotes and new costumes for Storm, Magneto, and Mr. Fantastic. Which Mr. Fantastic, if you end up getting that suit, gives you a tease of the future Foundation costumes for Invisible Woman, The Thing, and Spidey. So hopefully those will come out soon. Lots of buffs, lots of nerfs. I think good things overall, and the new tactical mode. So everything's live now, and jump on in. I'll be playing this later today. So
I'm gonna be at it. I've been racking up MVPs. White Queen.
Dude,
Cap.
White Queen's a beast.
Oh, I can't be stopped with White Queen. Like I'm just, it's insane how nasty I am with that. I mean, I'm not even going diamond form on half you plugs. You don't even worthy of the diamond form. I'm just gonna drain your brains out and just shield my team in the process. Anyway, Marvel Rivals is lit. I'm gonna go downstairs right now and download this update because I didn't realize it was a holiday today. So
yeah, it's live, man. It's all good.
Yep, let's go.
Also,
Shouldn't have used my costume coin. I had a costume coin I could have been saving.
I have one more tier to unlock before the costume coin, and so now I'm gonna. They might not even apply them though to the new suits, but maybe some of the older suits are rotating.
Maybe smart not to.
Yeah, because I gotta get those. This also today is a big day for the Disney Lorcana community because it is the pre-release of Reign of Jafar, the brand new Disney Lorcana set. Full retail release is next week. Next Friday, but today is pre-release, so any of those who signed up for special pre-release events and tournaments and all that stuff can already start to get their packs. I have my full review of the starter sets up on Comic Book right now, so you can check out my longly worded thing there. But here I did want to just highlight, I think these 2 starter sets, those are right there for those watching the live show. I think the 2 new starter sets are 2 of the best they have done in the game to this point. The mix of characters, the differences between them, one being very much more about like one features more heavily features the Encanto cast and has a lot of things about like using song power to like do anything from attacking enemies to removing health to removing damage, all those kinds of things. Drawing cards, adding lore, everything is kind of baked into that. And you can there's even one card later that's high cost, but like lets you essentially get like the entire family if you can hit the 9 cost, and it makes this big effect. It's really cool. Very much embodying the things of Encanto, right? And then the other set is much more about like straight up challenging, but it's not necessarily just attacking people. It's like, hey, let me remove amount of strength from an opponent. Let me boost another ally. Let me boost you. I'll let you even, there's one card that even lets the other characters gain like 3 buffs right at the beginning, and they can all have it if they're on the board. So lots of favorites from Mulan in here. Bambi gets its big debut in this set. Stitch, of course, is a big thing in the Stitch, obviously, because why wouldn't you right now? And then some of the promo cards are great too, as Minnie is one of the promos, Tangled, and of course Jafar. Also, right in line with this is the Jafar Illumineers quest, which an Illumineers quest is actually something that like you can play this game cooperatively. Typically, a TCG is like 1v1, and with this special set, and now it has like a board and everything, it almost essentially becomes kind of a mini board game in the fact that you can get you and up to 3 other people playing against Jafar as the boss. And it's really cool. So if you're looking for a different way to play Lorcana, I suggest that. It's awesome. You can buy it all in the box edition. Comes with the decks you need to play for up to 2 players, but people can bring their own decks and make it up to 4. Very cool. So definitely check that out. Last but not least, I wanted to mention another board game. We talked about zombies a lot. Seriously, for the first 30 minutes of the show, talked a lot about zombies. Now, here's the thing. I don't think the zombie genre is dead. I still like a good zombie thing, whether that's, Left 4 Dead in a video game or something along the lines of, will I play The Last of Us Part 3 if it ever happens? Yes, absolutely. Sign me up day one. I even still like some of the Walking Dead stuff. So I still have a love-hate relationship with zombies. But one of the things I do love that is zombie related is Zombicide, which is from Simon. That game has always just, it really replicates kind of the horde mentality zombies really well, right? Like you can end up having you and up to 5 other players, because you can play this up to 6 players. You can have you and your buddies going against what starts as like 3 zombies quickly multiply to 12 zombies, and then a brute, and then a giant abomination over here, and it really simulates that kind of chaos. And you see literally sometimes as the game goes on, just giant hordes of zombies moving from like towards you, right? And so it's really good about that. And this one, this is part of their kind of medieval fantasy series. The main one's kind of in the modern day, but this is set, they always kind of play with different time frames and things. White Death is part of that series, and one of the things they add is like battlements. So it's more like almost like castle warfare, where you have a bunch of different guards that you can actually control actions for, in addition to your heroes, and they can like pour cauldrons of oil down on the zombies to keep them off the wall. They can shoot arrows. You have ladders that you can go down and up. But the zombies also have a necromancer, and they also have like sorry, I want to make sure I get that right. Not a necromancer, is it? Yeah, it is a necromancer. I got it right. Okay, making sure, because I didn't know the exact title. The necromancers were always in the game. They were in there previously, but in this game, they make corruption zones, and those corruption zones can like start to really add up and start paving the way, and they can cut right through walls. And they can cut right through anything. They can also take away spaces that gave you, like, you can search spaces for weapons and things like that. If a corruption zone is on top of it, you can't do that anymore. So the zombies get more and more room to walk and roam and invade as the game goes on, if you don't take care of threats really, really quickly. That's an abomination, by the way, for those who are watching the live show. Those are the giant, huge monsters that literally take a group of you to take down, or a handy item. So the corruption and the walls add so much kind of a unique flavor to this that it really felt like something different and fresh. Still same tried and true Zombicide combat. I love it. The co-op, it's a fully co-op game, and it comes with a bunch of different scenarios. The minis always look fantastic. There's also a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles spin-off of this. It's in the same set, and it's set in the same timeline and everything. I don't have that. That is on my wish list because I want that. That is super cool, and it's the same thing. It's just literally turtles. But yeah, so that is Zombicide White Death. If you're a fan of the franchise, this is to me a no-brainer because I just love this setting. But I also, I wouldn't say it's like, the best Zombicide game of all time. It's still really good though. So I really enjoyed it. Check it out, especially if you like the medieval theme. So that is me. That is Matt's agenda today. And now it is time to go play Marvel Rivals.
All right. And that'll do it for this episode of Comic Book Nation. We are the only show that does it all for geek culture and the official podcast of comicbook.com. You can catch us every week here on our live stream Fridays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or you can catch our work on comicbook.com itself, where we are continuously publishing all kinds of features, news articles, and everything you need to know about the geek space. You can follow us all individually. I know Janelle's streaming. Matt has all kinds of extracurricular activities out there that they're doing, so you can check both of them out on the side. And we will see you guys next week. So everybody have a fun week. Go see a good movie, watch a good TV show, read some comics, play some Marvel Rivals or other games, and we will catch you guys next week for another Week in Geek. Peace.
This is
Bye.